April gazed at the leaves above her, the blue sky peeking out between the gaps. It's such a wonderful day, she thought to herself. A sweet taste still existed in her mouth. She would occasionally lick the inside along the side of her teeth, the flavor slightly weaker but enjoyable. An occasional spice came through when a piece of a leaf that she ate came off from between her teeth. The pair of shoes was held in one hand while the other lazily swung back and forth with her movement. Every now and then, April would look around for any signs of people. Fortunately, the lack of any signs pointed that she was still alone. It made her smile larger. It'll take some time for the trees to recover their leaves. The fact that the trees weren't able to immediately replace their leaves meant that even with the ones nearby her location, it wouldn't be a good thing to continue picking leaves from them. I don't want to deprive them of their ability to get food. She looked at each of the trees. Soon, the group of trees ended, and she was out in a large field. Turning back to look at the shelter, a part of her wondered if the people that created the building had designed things to look in a particular manner. The big difference was the height of the grass compared to the large field. Even after so much time had passed, the grass never got significantly past her ankles. This was a pattern that she noticed as she journeyed from one location to another, no destination in mind. In the locations where people lived, the grass would be thick, but only grow to a certain height. It was an unusual sight. Since this only occurred in formerly populated areas, it was easy to notice when she was getting close to where people lived. The biggest downside of getting close to areas that were maintained was how the risk of people still existing grew exponentially greater. When on the road, sometimes even moving through a forest, April didn't have to be as alert to the presence of people. But even with the lower chances, it was still wise to move with caution. Compared to people, there are far more dangerous things lurking throughout the world. Thinking of the things that need to be avoided at all costs made her shiver. It wasn't a pleasant thing to think about. On top of that, there wasn't much she could do against the things. Even people with their weapons weren't able to do anything against them. She couldn't help but remember the few times where she'd be hiding and watching as people struggled against the things. The loud sounds of their weapons, which repeatedly cracked like thunder, fire shooting out of the mouth of the weapons. Hugging herself with her arms, she was glad that the open field felt welcoming without any of the violence buried in her memories. Making her way deep into the field, April reached out and touched the tall grass. Compared to what was near the building, the grass that surrounded her felt natural. Just like the trees, they welcomed her. It made her smile return. "How are all of you?" April laughed as she said out loud. Even though she knew that she shouldn't be making any sounds, she couldn't help the feeling of excitement that surrounded her. Everything felt alive and cheerful. The flowers grew tall, the petals opened up to the sun above. She leaned close and took a deep smell, inhaling the perfume. It may not have been as strong as the sap on the trees, but there was still a feeling of energy that was transmitted, making her feel alive. Spreading out her arms, she closed her eyes and leaned her head back, basking in the warm glow from the light that fed them all.